This week's video is actually a video which I recorded well over a year ago now. It was recorded in March 2019, and I never put it out on the YouTube channel because, well, I had a few issues with sound on that trip, as it was recorded in the Northwest Highlands, which is normally very windy, and actually at one stage I recorded quite a lot of footage for this particular video which had no sound at all. But given that 2020 has basically been a complete write-off for travel, and I think it's probably going to be a while before I get to do a trip like this again, I decided to go back and revisit the footage, and actually I think it works okay. So there are some sound issues in this video, I apologise for that, but I hope you enjoy it. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me with the wind or not, but I'll try and get this to go anyway. So I'm currently in northwest Scotland again. I'm actually staying in Durness, which is where Hannah and I were last autumn. And I'm actually just here without Hannah for a week, so I'm here for family reasons, but obviously coming up somewhere like this I've got the camera with me. So I'm hoping there'll be a few chances to sort of sneak out and get a bit of photography done whilst I'm up here. Apologies if I'm looking a little bit bleary-eyed. I had a long drive up from Chichester yesterday. It actually took me 14 and a half hours to drive up here, which is the longest I think it's ever taken me to drive up here. And then also this weekend we've got Northern Lights forecast. So I was actually out till 3 o'clock this morning looking out for Northern Lights. Unfortunately it was just a little bit too cloudy. I think they might have been there. Every now and again there's a little bit of a gap in the clouds, and I think I thought that I could see it, but because it's a full moon I wasn't sure if it was cloud or Northern Lights. But we have actually got a KP6 forecast tonight as well, so the forecast's not looking good, but who knows. But essentially what I've got, there's the main mountain, which is Foinavan, is over there in cloud at the moment, and I'm just waiting for some of those clouds to lift, because when I first came to this spot there were some really nice lentiform clouds over the top of it, but it just took me a little while to get my camera set up and get the shot framed up, and of course by the time that was all set up the clouds had come down and covered the mountain. So I'm waiting hopefully for those clouds to lift off the mountain and just give us a bit of a view of the mountain. I know it's the middle of the day, but we are actually getting some quite nice light as well, so I'm quite liking how it's turning out. But the other thing I've got is I've got this stream, which is actually in a not very photogenic culvert under the road there. But it's coming out, and when I was at the photography show last weekend, and there's some really nice, there was a great talk actually on the PhotoSpeed stand by Joe Cornish, who's one of my favourite photographers. And he had some really nice images with, streams and rocks and close-ups. He had some nice images from from Glencoe. And when I saw this spot, that's what sort of came to mind. So obviously I'm not comparing myself to Joe Cornish in any way, shape or form, but that's kind of what I had in mind when I saw this river in the foreground. So I'm trying to include that as some foreground interest and have a little bit of a lead and line going into the image. But yeah, it's just a case of waiting. Hopefully those clouds will lift fairly soon, and we're going to get a nice image. So I should also probably point out I'm using a polarizer just to remove some of the glare from the surface of the stream, and I've also got a 4-stop ND on there as well, which will hopefully just create some of that blurred out water, because there's some nice foam on the surface of the water. We've got some nice white bits of white water here, and that 4-stop ND I think is just lengthening my exposure nice enough just to blur some of that out a little bit and create that nice long exposure effect. So I've come down to Banneker Bay, which is one of the most beautiful beaches, I think, not just in Durness, but possibly the country, if not the world, actually. And it's a beach which I know exceedingly well. And in actual fact, if any of you follow Susanna Mary's channel, I'll pop a link up the top of the page here. She's fairly new to YouTube, but one of her earliest videos was actually done here, so definitely check that video out. But it's actually a beach which I find, despite it being a stunning beach, I find it really difficult to photograph. So it looks like we've got some nice light this evening, so I thought we'd pop down here and really see if we can crack it, really, because I've tried to photograph this beach a few times and I've never really been overly happy with the results. It's never really turned out how I would want. So yeah, we'll see how we get on this evening. So immediately there's a couple of things which have really drawn my eye with regards to images. The first are some patterns in the sand. There's some really nice snaky lines in the sand, which I think I'll certainly be able to try and get an image from those. And the other one, which I'm going to focus on to begin with, is where the stream is coming down the beach. It's creating some nice sort of snaky S-lines through the sand. So I'm going to see if I can use those in an image, looking out towards the headland out there whilst there's some nice light falling on it. So I think that's what I'm going to try first. The trouble is, that might involve getting a bit wet. I don't have wellies on, I've only got walking boots on. So I'm going to have to get all my camera gear ready beforehand, stick a polarizing filter on the lens, maybe have some ND filters to hand as well. It might be a little bit challenging, but I'll get out there in the stream and see if I can take an image. I think I've got a composition here which I'm quite pleased with, actually. I'm stood in the middle of a stream. One of the things I really hate, actually, is getting my camera onto sandy beaches, especially when there's a bit of a breeze. So I'm trying to be really careful about not getting sand on the lens, because that's just one of my pet hates. I've had nasty experiences in the past of that. So I'm trying to be really careful. But having said that, I'm stood here in the middle of a stream. I've got my tripod set up here, it's down low. But I've got this composition set up, which is, kind of fairly obvious sort of composition, really, where we've got the stream leading up through the image and these rocks which are creating a nice little bit of kind of almost foreground interest, but actually not that close. Going back to the sea, which I'm blowing out a little bit using a 4-stop ND filter. I don't want to blow it out too much, but at the moment I've got about a 1-second exposure, which is working nicely. And I'm just waiting for some nice light, but I'm liking the way that this image is framed up, with the 2 headlands either side, and then Garvey Island, the island out there, sat there on a third as well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this image. So I think actually this time I've managed to come away from Banneker Beach with some images which I'm quite pleased with. But I'm actually here for the whole week, so there's every chance I might pop down again and see if I can get some more. Incidentally, if you ever do come down here, there's a local organisation whose name I can't remember. I'll pop a link up to their website if I can. But they're trying to organise cleaning beaches up, picking up waste plastic and reducing the amount of plastic that's polluting our beaches around Durness. And they've got a collection bin up here, so always remember to pick up a piece of plastic if you come down here and pop it in the bin, and it'll just help to keep these beautiful places clear. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, then please do remember to give it a thumbs up if you like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then please also subscribe to the channel as well. We are We really appreciate it, and we'd also appreciate any of your comments below as well. A little bit of plastic here. So yeah, if you have any comments, another bit of plastic. Always try and pick these bits of plastic up. Yeah, if you do have any comments, please leave them below, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. Cool, take care, we'll see you next time.